You know what's interesting about this comment? Because Alexander Hamilton, so our founding father, he told his son Philip when he was challenged to a duel, a pew pew, to not pew pew because the other side, the other guy won't pew pew him, honor code. So guess what happened? Philip left this world, and guess how Hamilton was taken? Yep, decorum, honor code, trusting that the other side has a better judgment and that they will do the right thing. And after mobilizing so many of us to annoy our Congress members to call out a constitutional crisis, there's plenty who are now saying it out loud in public, however, without any actual resolve or guidance as to how we can fight this. They want to legally challenge it. That's going to take a lot of time. They want to use congressional channels in which to challenge it. That's going to take a lot of time. I can't even get my passport right now, and I probably won't because they say it's going to be 4 years. Well, you know what was also 4 years? The Chile dictatorship that was literally enabled through the Chicago Boys, a bunch of college-age little boys who were literally just molded to destabilize the Chile economy and to do doji stuff, make it more efficient. And then the dictatorship lasted from 1973. It was from a coup, 1973 through 1990. Thousands of people were unalived. Thousands of people were tortured. Not just people, dissidents. I'm fine with that. I've made peace with the fact that I may be a target since long before this even happened. But it's offensive that the Democratic Party is just like, hey, we're going to say what you want to hear, but we don't really know what to do, so we're just going to blame it on you because, hey, we don't have the numbers. When in fact, they had resolved before. The constitutional crisis occurred when they refused to even position anything about Amendment 14, Section 3. Why? There's a lot of ambiguity, but Joe Biden having his 3 letters, because a president has a lot of influence over the 3 letters, allowing for them to drop the election interference case, didn't help when it came to Amendment 14, Section 3, did it? People say it's because they have fancy stuff. Well, we haven't seen any fancy stuff like we've seen. However, is it sufficient to change the outcome? Apparently to the Democratic Party, no, because they didn't object. In that reality, the election interference case was dropped for nothing. Just because the Department of Justice does not prosecute sitting presidents, which isn't something in the Constitution, so they went for tradition versus constitutional defending, right? But the Department of Justice, as part of the administrative state, does not have an oath, technically, at least legally binding to the Constitution. Why? Because they're not part of the branches. They don't have to take that oath. They do that, but outside of the Constitution, what they have is an obedience to the superior orders. That is the president. That was Joe Biden. So I cannot emphasize the fact that this was a failure on multiple fronts. And while yes, a lot of it is on Republicans, me criticizing Republicans for something we all knew they would do is very futile, right? And the fact that the Democratic Party basically had a strategy of Republicans will do the right thing is just futile as well. I'll add a link to my description of a video where basically the whole conservative foundation is anti-constitution. That's what the party is, anti-constitution. I know that it's fed to the actual voters in a different way, but when you look at the actual textualism of what they position, and you'll see in my video, it's anti-constitution. It is replacing the Constitution, and they've said it out loud. And all the Democrats have said is this: when the Republicans have not been shy about telling the Democrats and everyone in the country where the ocean is, but now Democrats are like, where's the ocean? I didn't know where the ocean was. They didn't tell me what they were gonna do. I didn't know what they were gonna do, but they did. They did, but they had rose-colored glasses. They were like, they're not gonna do it. They love the Constitution. But that means that they didn't actually consider to really look at what the Republican foundation was, and that's always been anti-Constitution. So yes, they take a slash to a pew-pew fight. We're losing, and we're gonna lose it. I don't think we have the backbone, especially in government, to fix this. What that means is that it's gonna be a resistance from the bottom up. What that means, I think none of us want to say it out loud. Let me just extend this for a couple seconds just to show this, because people are like, what do you expect them to do? Not this. No, you can't do that, Doji. That's illegal. Doji does it anyways. We tried. We don't have the numbers. It's offensive. It's offensive because they could have tried before, yet they didn't. Whether they thought that Republicans were going to do the right thing, whether they had threats, which if I was a congressman, I don't care if you threaten to, no, you can threaten whatever you want. I will not give up this republic, this constitutional republic, because this is more than me. This is more than my family. This is literal millions, over 300 and what, 40 million Americans who were put in a prison of a dictatorship, of a coup that could have been seen. And this is my problem with Jamie Raskin, the fact that he's an actual constitutional attorney. And because he was thinking like an attorney and not like a constitutional defender, he allowed for decorum to take role. And now we exist where we do. You see, law itself is not the threshold of our maximum potential. It is constitutional law and authority that is supreme to anything else. So we had more. They just refused to because he was thinking like a lawyer, and that's a threshold that you cannot go past because of professional ethics. So it makes me think maybe we have too much lawyers in the government because they're restricted by political decorum and the legal status quo, because political status quo and legal status quo does not have to align to constitutional status quo. Why? Because of de jure. De jure just means that it has to be done by the appropriate branch. But if that appropriate branch isn't doing anything, then who's going to question them? Not Jamie Raskin, because it's not his job. It's failures all around, and I want you all to not be lied to, and I want you all to not accept the excuses that have historically been given to us, like, we don't have the numbers. Republicans, when they don't have the numbers, they maximize on their powers. We don't. Because someone told us, I respect her, but someone told us when they go low, we go high. No, we go low. We go low, lawful, but low, all right?